This is Acer's Helios 300 for 2019, and it's a fantastic gaming laptop. Now, if you've seen my channel before, you may have noticed that I'm sometimes critical of Acer's products. They make some good stuff, but they also make some kind of mediocre stuff. For the greater part of my channel's kind of Acer coverage, I would say that I'm leaning more towards the not recommending a lot of Acer's products. But this one is a banger, and it's fantastic. Okay, so what makes this thing special is not just this price point. It's a $1,200 machine, but it's also what you're getting for that money. It's so much better than I thought it would be because so many companies cut corners when they're in this price range. So this device has a aluminum top surface and an aluminum keyboard deck. The bottom panel as well as the back panel is plastic, but this thing is just built really well for this kind of price point. Now, they've configured this device with a good combination of CPU and GPU. So oftentimes when you have a $1,200 gaming laptop, one of the things that they'll do to keep costs down is to package it with a weaker CPU. Even Acer has done it in the past, but with this thing, you're getting a 6-core 9th gen i7. It's a very powerful CPU. I did notice, however, that it is also undervolted. I noticed this like previously in a different laptop, the Razer Blade, but it's just strange. Like, this was never done before in the past, and someone decided to, give people the green light, and now a lot of manufacturers are putting out devices that are undervolted right out of the factory. It's a good thing, and it's one of the reasons why the temperatures on this device are lower, but it's just a little strange to me. And the GPU in here is also pretty kick-ass. It's the GTX 1660 Ti, and basically any kind of game that you throw on this is gonna run quite well. If you're playing competitive shooters and you drop the graphics settings on it, you'll be able to hit the maximum frame rate on this screen. So the screen is 144 Hertz. They claim it's a 3 millisecond response time, which is probably an optimistic measurement, but it's a very fast screen. If you're used to 60 Hertz screens, this 144 Hertz panel is a nice treat. It's reasonably bright, but screens are areas where companies often skimp on as well when they're trying to keep costs down, but it's like the thing that you're looking at, right? It's a thing that you're playing your games on. I feel like if you're not getting a good screen, regardless of the price of the laptop, you're not getting a proper device. For $1,200, a good screen like this is really nice. Let's talk about thermal performance. This machine has fantastic thermals, in part due to the undervolting that I mentioned earlier, but it also has a great thermal system. It's got 2 fans, and the thermals are good enough that it can maintain boost clock if you're running it on turbo mode. Now, keep in mind that the fans are quite loud in turbo mode, but you get excellent performance. I do wish that there was just better control in that software. Like, you get some degree of fan control, but I feel like there should be more profiles so you could adjust your fans a little bit more precisely. The ports on this device, so there's 2 USB-A's, 1 USB-C. The USB-C does not support Thunderbolt 3, but I feel like in 2019, I've kind of fallen out of love with what Thunderbolt 3 kind of offered. Originally, I really liked the idea of Thunderbolt 3 with the ability to connect to external GPUs and stuff, but we've seen how that stuff plays out. I feel like it's just super expensive and not cost efficient to get an external GPU. You also got an Ethernet jack as well as your AC adapter hole on the left side. I don't like the positioning of this. It's not so much like a restricted airflow when you have the AC adapter connected. It's more that the cable gets super hot, and that can't be great for things. The speakers are located on the bottom. They sound okay. I don't particularly love them, but inside you also have access to your RAM slots, your SSD slots, as well as your 2.5-inch SATA drive if you want to use that. And you also have access to your Wi-Fi card, as well as a very small battery. This is a little bit bigger battery than last year's version, but it's still a very short battery life. I'm getting around 4 hours of battery life still. The AC adapter is not huge, so if you do need to bring this around, it's a relatively compact power supply, but yeah, it's a battery life that you will require the AC adapter if you travel with it. Okay. Oh, the inside. I haven't talked about the keyboard and trackpad yet. It's a good keyboard. I like the way it types. I think a lot of people enjoy the feel of this keyboard. It's not that it's cramped, it's like there's no border on the left and right of it because they have a number pad, so it feels a little bit strange when you're using the WASD keys. Like, you can feel the left edge of the keyboard right there, but it's something you get used to pretty quickly, and the keyboard on the whole is solid. The backlighting on this thing, so the unit I have is an Amazon configuration. It does not have RGB lighting. It only has this whitish blue light, which I actually like. There are more expensive configurations out there with RGB lighting, but this is just a simple white light. The trackpad, it's a plastic surface, and you do have to press the buttons a little bit harder than I'd like to activate the mechanism, but yeah, it's a solid trackpad using Windows Precision drivers. Nothing really to complain about it. Okay, this device, I'm going to give this thing the title of an MVP. It's like the most valuable player when it comes to gaming laptops right now, because not only is it giving consumers a great device for the money. For $1,200, you're getting a lot more with this system than a lot of competing systems, but the presence of this thing, the existence of a $1,200 device that is this good, puts a lot of pressure on other companies out there. I'm not going to name names, but there are companies out there that probably looked at this thing and just, they hate it. They're like, we can't compete with this thing with our current devices. So it makes other companies look bad if they're selling a similar kind of product for a lot more money. Acer did a great job on this thing. I mean, it's heavily improved year on year, and I think they just knocked this one out of the park. I like it. Now, I'm going to mention one problem with this device, or one potential problem with this device that I think people should be aware of. When I looked at the price of this device online on Amazon, I stumbled upon the older Helios 300 from 2018, and that was a device that I reviewed quite positively. When I looked at the ratings, it's got a 4-star rating. People seem to like it as well. But when you click on the spread, you'll notice a handful of 1-star reviews, and I clicked on those and I saw a bunch of people talking about thermal issues from the 2018 model. And I remember in my older review that it had good thermal performance. Not perfect, but it was pretty solid. And I remember a lot of other publications and other YouTubers came to a similar conclusion, that the 2018 Helios 300 had good thermals. But then why did so many of these 1-star reviews specifically mention poor thermal performance as the reason for their dissatisfaction with the product? And I think it was because of a inconsistency in their manufacturing. I think a lot of the older Helios 300s just didn't have proper thermals. But I think with the 2019 model, because of the undervolt and just it's an improved system overall, I think there's going to be way less issues with the 2019 model. But if you do pick one up, and like I still highly recommend this device, but if you pick one up, I would recommend just testing the crap out of it the moment you get it, just to make sure you don't have a lemon, because you don't want to be one of those guys dropping 1-star reviews when you can resolve it or avoid it by running some benchmarks the day that you actually get the laptop. Okay, Acer's Helios 300, great device. I feel like they knocked this one out of the park. There's very little I have to complain about it. In fact, I think because of the existence of this product, a lot of competitors now have to kind of change their configurations or reprice their products at this $1,200 price point because it's that good. Yep. Okay, if you're looking for this thing, you're looking for a $1,200 gaming laptop, this should be on the short list. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you guys next time.